Real quick, I want to do a fair use.
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are big. We're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison. How to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Look like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%.
DeSantis, this is what they do at Florida football games. The Gators, they do that gator mouth thing with their hands in the football games. Have you ever heard of the alligator Alcatraz detention center that DeSantis is building? It's $450 million detention center for ICE for illegals. Yeah, you gotta watch this video. He's so amped, it almost looks like AI. He's so amped about the illegals being trapped in this detention center. He goes, yo, we're gonna build it right here where they can't escape. He's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna trudge through a bunch of like 60 miles of swamp?
You've got nowhere to go. I mean, what are you gonna do? Trudge through the swamp and dodge alligators on the way back to 50, 60 miles just to get to civilization? Not gonna happen. So
you can't. There's alligators everywhere. Alligators, snakes, and all. He's so amped. His dick is hard. He's like, you don't understand. The illegals won't be able to get away. Oh my God. Oh, and I just can see him just picturing a bunch of brown people like Haitians, Cubans, anybody brown. His energy is almost a racist energy. You feel me? He has the dark shades on. I don't know if you ever saw Cool Hand Luke. Cool Hand Luke is one of my favorite movies. Paul Newman, he's in prison, and the warden is like, looks like we have a failure to communicate. He had the dark, the aviator glasses like those sheriffs have. So he's so amped, yeah. And then we're gonna put them over here, and if they try to escape, the alligators will eat them. Well, I think if you know the history of black people and alligators, they would feed black babies to alligators back in the early 1800s, early 1900s. Yeah, they would feed black bodies to alligators. Yeah, that's what they would do. It's important to learn your history. All right, learn your history. And this is a warning to all the Haitian people out there, the Caribbean people out, Jamaican, African American, everybody. Just be aware of what they're doing, because it's crazy. Florida, it's the Gator Nation, It's like they want all these brown people to be locked up in these detention centers, but they still want you to play football. They still want you to play football. It's very weird. It's very strange. It's important to protect your country. I get that. So make sure that you guys are putting some of these Europeans in these detention centers too. You know what I mean? You got to feed not only the alligators dark meat, but you got to feed them white meat also. This is what they do.
Yeah, so this is Exodus 1 and 15 through 22. So God's word translation, right? Pharaoh tells the midwives to kill all Hebrew baby boys, right? And then, as it be it may, those are not babies anymore, but those are males, right? And that's their primary target is the male population, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? So it's not a new thing in this world, as the spiritual takes a shift in this world, because there was a great spiritual shift in the time of Moses, right? And that's the thing that's happening right now. So now they have to come against the Israelites, right? And these were the Israelites in Egypt, and then the king of Egypt, right, which would be what they call Pharaoh, right, which the king of Egypt right now is what? Donald J. Trump, right? Or at least he's the face of it. We know there's the elite, the Illuminati, whatever, that's really behind. He's really a puppet, but at face value, what we're looking at is he's the king, right? He's still calling all the shots, right? Then the king of Egypt told the Hebrew midwives, whose name was Shephrah and Puah, when you help the Hebrew women in childbirth, right? And ultimately, what's happening right now? These are the birth pains, right, of the coming of the kingdom, right? This is the birth pains of the kingdom to come, right? It says, look at the child when you deliver it, and if it is a boy, kill it, right? And we know that the male carries the seed, man, right? And also what? The flock of the Lord's pasture are what? Are men, right? Dealing with the prophets, dealing with the savior, the saviors also. Yahweh Shai is a savior, and then there's also saviors, right? And those saviors are men, right? It says, but if it be a girl, let it alive. See, and women don't carry the seed, because that whole thing would kill off the lineage of the Israelites. So that's kind of like a way of saying, race it, as the Edomites did, right? Because if you kill off the seed, you kill off all the males, you only leave females. That nationality, that nation does not continue. That nation, that tribe does not continue, right? Yeah, so this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, so cometh as a thief in the night. For you know quite well that the day of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, return. And that's the thing that's happening, man. The Lord is going to return and visit the world which he made, right? Just like he did in the time of Moses, right? And that fathership, he's going to return, right? Will come unexpectedly like a thief in the night. Verse 3, King James, when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction. And that's ultimately what Trump is saying. He's saying that there's peace and safety in America, right? Right? But those who have eyes to see could see that things is not what it seems, what it looks like, right? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. NLT, when people say everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall upon them suddenly, as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin, and there will be no escape, right? So this is Trump's big beautiful bill, right? And also he's trying to assert himself as someone to win the Nobel Peace Prize, right? Or at least be nominated. He wants to be like Stalin or something, right? Joseph Stalin, right? Stalin was like a great general and this and that, and then he got nominated twice for a Nobel Peace Prize. I think once in 1945 and then another time in 1948, right? And this Trump wants to be almost like remembered like that, but you're not a great guy like that. You're not on the level. This is let's look at what they say. Right? They say
Strong's G 3004. Lego.
Lego or logo, right? And Trump's logo is what? MEGA, or Make America Great Again, right? Which is really basically racism, right? So he's speaking, right, to his people, right? Even Edomite came out and said it. Yeah, MEGA means white supremacy. It means, I wish I could remember where that video, but he basically just came out and said, yeah, MEGA is white supremacy, right? To say to speak, affirm over, maintain. See, and that's what they want to do. They want to maintain their power. So they oh no, everything's okay. We're just gonna vote. We're just gonna pass these this thing. We're gonna put all this stuff in the big beautiful bill. And everything's gonna be okay, right? But we know that they're talking about surveillance, right? On the major level, there will be no rights. All your rights are going to be taken away, right? Right. To teach, yeah, okay. Safety.
Strong's G 803. Asphalia.
Asphalia, firmness, stability, right? And that's what Trump is going to probably the stable coin, right? Right along with his so-called MAGA, his white supremacy, right? Let's see, let's go. Firm, suited, yeah, suited to conform, and that's ultimately what he's going to plan to do. He's gonna set things up for you people to conform and into this technocracy, right? And there ain't going to be no escape, because a lot of you jakes ain't paying attention. It's going to come upon you like a woman with child, and you're not paying attention. It says, but you, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. But you aren't in darkness about in those things, dear brothers and sisters, and you won't be surprised when the day of Yahweh Bahasham Baruch HaKodash come like a thief, right? When Esau come down with great wrath, knowing he had but a short time, pushing forth his technocracy, right? Yeah, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 37. Behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. The plagues, right? Which would be, the beast of terror, right? The famine, the sword, and pestilence, man. There's gonna be a certain lot that you have to die if you're not the elect, right? And that plague, right? Whether you die in the race wars, or you die when the troops come to your house and ransack your house and ravish your wife, right? Hey, hey, death is coming, and it says, draw nigh. See, and it's coming, right? And are not slacked. So these things, now we're at the time that it's not gonna slack. You know what I mean, right? Like it tells you in Habakkuk 2, right? That it shall speak and not lie, and though it tarry, wait for it surely will not tarry. And we're in the time that it's not going to tarry. This thing is going to happen fast, right? As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, right? And that's the time that we're in. This thing is knocking at the door. Especially the big, beautiful bill just got signed in yesterday on the 4th, which that's really solidifying that was supposed to be the Independence Day. But what he's showing is that's going to be, it's like a new independence, right? It's a new Independence Day. He's gonna be out with the old America and in with the new America, the bitter, right? And it's going to really be bitter constraints real soon. As you can see with this, alligator Alcatraz? They're showing you the bitterness, right? Showing you that they know that there's a spiritual shift, just like the king of Egypt, right? The Pharaoh. Kill every male, right? And they can feel, they know, and hey, they want to cause, to come against you because there's a big shift and it's coming. And they can sense it. Everybody, the energy is different. I've never seen the fourth like that. Like, even when I was driving around, like, the energy was different yesterday. It says, 2 to 3 hours before her birth. 2 or 3 hours of her birth. So like, great pains compass the womb, which pains when child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. And see, right, man, all the troubles, and Esau showing his horns, right? While you thought it was safety, we got the Constitution, we got this, which they're showing you right before your face. They're wiping away the Constitution. They're wiping away the birthright citizens, which aligns up with the 14th Amendment, which basically links you Jakes, you Israelites who were slaves, which say, hey, the slave was born, so now you're citizens. Because other than that, there's no other thing saying that we're actually citizens here. So now he could send you anywhere. He could send you wherever. And if someone happened to take a slip and a fall into the swamp at this alligator thing because they don't like you, or because they feel like, I don't know, whatever they feel, who's going to stop them? Right? Which they said there's already reports of people already missing. Right? And they're going to see, and this is just the beginning. Right? Right? See, right here. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slacked to come upon the earth and the world, right? Because things are happening here in America, so this is like the earth. This part we're focusing on. This is where we live at. But then the actual world, in the Orchomene sense, because this is your world too. This is your world, right? Because there's a world. There's worlds within the world. There's many worlds. The Lord made more than one world, right? But while you're in your own little world, guess what? The rest of the world, in the Orchomene sense, is going to be going through the same thing. They're going to be going through their own troubles and tribulations. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Right? You think if you travel over here, I'm going to move to another country. They're going to be going through some, but there's things, Esau always says that there's a, what does it say? What do you say? The lesser of two evils, right? I mean, I guess that does exist. I mean, you could be here in America where it's about to be all out hell, and then you go to somewhere else and it's hell, but it ain't this place, because this place is going to be totally. It says, and my people, hear my words, make ye ready to the battle, right? And that's ultimately what we're in, man. We're in a war, man. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And that's the time that we're living in, man. we know we're not in darkness as the others, right? We know it's going to be time to be a pilgrim. We're time to, look, I'm an American citizen, buddy. What are you doing? No, I have the right to. No, I don't have no rights here. I'm not even from here, right? We're pilgrims. Yeah, so this is John chapter 17, verse 15. This is Yahushai, red letter. It says, I pray not that thou shouldst take them out of the world. So we're not going to take everybody. Everybody has to get tested. This is the time of temptation, right? The hour of temptation, the trials. Everybody should be tested, right? So the Lord can't take us out, but He has prayed for us. Lord willing, we're part of that number that prayer covers. Lord willing, this prayer covers me and my household, and so also the brothers that teach with us, man. The brothers, the Phoenix, GMS brothers. We go around and we congregate with them brothers, and we're hoping to be a part of those brothers, But as we're affiliates, right? But as things go, hey, we all gonna see who's who anyway, right? And what's what, But hey, these brothers are laboring, so hey, I always got compassion for brothers that's laboring, you know. So it says, yeah, you can take them out of the world. Yeah. I pray not thou should take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. Right, and this one says, right, because evil meaning a bad time, and that's what's about to happen, man. A very bad time is about to happen on planet Earth, but ultimately in Babylon the Great, right? Spiritually Egypt, right? It says, and I am not asking you to take them out of the world, right? Out of our condition where we're at, this you know, right? But to keep them safe, right? That's what we need, true safety, which that's coming from Yahweh Shai, right? From Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. From the evil one, right? Which is Esau Edom, man. Esau Edom is the evil one. They that are not of the world. See, we're not of this world anyway. So we're not gonna say, oh, I'm an American and I have rights, brother. What you doing? That's not right. No, this is not our world. This is not our rest, right? Even as I am not of the world, right? And Yahweh Shai, hey, that's what he said. He told that to was it Pilate? Pontius Pilate? He told him that, look, he said, you have no power over me, but what my Father give you, and my kingdom is not of this kingdom. You know what I mean? Because it'd be nothing for me to call, 12 legions of angels, or sort of 12 legions. He just said 12 legions to come and fight. I'm not even of this world. I think he even told that to the Pharisees. He said, I'm from above, and you're from beneath, man. I'm not of this world. You know? So yeah, sanctify them through thy truth. See, and that's ultimately what we must be, sanctified in the truth. That thy word is true. Make them holy by thy. Ooh, I like this one. I like that, man. That's beautiful. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. Baba Kusha, please make this prayer be for me and my household. It says, make them holy by thy truth. Ooh. Teach them your word, which is true. Man. Yes, this is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 6. I ask ye now, and see rather a man doeth travail with a child. I ain't never seen a man travail with a child. Right? Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, man. Shame, right? Because the day is going to come upon you like a thief in the night, man. Right? Now, NLT, now let me ask you a question. Do any men give birth to babies? Right? That doesn't happen, right? Even though Esau and Moab is constantly trying to make that happen through their science. That's not a normal thing. It's not a natural thing, right? So I've never seen it. I mean, I guess you could do it in your scientific laboratories and all this other stuff. Your mad scientist laboratories. Then why do they stand there? Their ashen faces. Oh yeah, like putting the dust upon your face. Yeah, ashen faces, faced, hands pressed against their sides, like a woman in labor. Right. All right. And when you go into the ancient world, you would throw dust, or you put on your face. You put on sackcloth and throw dust. Why would you have ashes on your face? And well, some of these because it's going to be the place is going to be burning. You're going to have actual ash on your face. Everything's going to be burning. Everything's going to be on fire. Things are going to be happening. You're going to be there's going to be no water, no food, no nothing. You're going to be dusty, right? And not to mention, hey, you're going to be just in complete shock and shame, right? The horror you're going to see, man. Dead bodies should be like dung upon the streets, man. That's why they're supposed to have these robots that can eat dead bodies for fuel, right? So this is alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. See, you ain't never see a robot eat dead bodies, man. This is crazy. There ain't a day like this, man. That none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, right, Con? Hey, it's even the time of Jacob's trouble, right? And this is that time that we're in. But he shall be saved out of it, which is the elect. In all history, there has never been such a time of terror. Ooh. Hey, Esau, besides the Lord being the king of terror, but on earth, Esau's the terrorist, man. He's the real terrorist, which we already know that most of those dudes were. That was Esau. That was the FBI, the CIA, the MI6. It was really them. They're the real terrorists, right? But they're finna get terrorists about to come on them, right? Even the MI6 guys and the CIA and these black ops and all this stuff. Hey, you're about to feel terror, man. The Lord is about to show up, bro. He's about to visit the world, which he made. He's going to show you. It will be a time of trouble for my people, right? You're coming against the Israelites. Yeah, you're talking about throwing us in alligator Alcatraz and all this other stuff into the alligator thing all over again. Yet, in the end, they will be saved, right? And who's going to save you? Like I said, it's going to be sudden destruction and coming upon, and none shall escape. You're not going to escape. None of you Edomites, none of you other nations, none of you people are going to escape. Even 2/3 that buck up against this truth. All the things that's happening on the thing, and you got nerves to get on there and go, well, you black Hebrew, which black is a connotation of you being so-called black yourself, which is foolish, man. It doesn't make sense. Which we know black means dead. Black means nothing. It means you don't exist. But obviously we exist. We're on the highways and the byways, man. This is wherefore why Esau is about to come down with great wrath, knowing he had but a short time. Why? Because he can feel the vibrations in the earth. He can sense it. He knows that Yahushua is coming. To see the angels constantly appearing, the chariots constantly appearing. Right? Yeah, so this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation. So we're starting to see that, man. The race wars, the racial tensions, the MAGA is happening, right? Right? And kingdom against kingdom, right? We've seen that Israel against Iran. What's the other one? I ain't really heard much about that. India? What was it? India and I ain't heard much about that other one. But of course, because I think it was India, right? India and some other country. I don't know if it was, I forgot the name of the country, but I ain't heard much about that one. But of course, you got Ukraine, the Russia, right? You got all these kingdoms, these things. Oh, not to mention, North Korea sent more, 30,000, 40,000 more troops, because they already sent a certain amount of thousand of troops to help Russia for Ukraine. Think they sent 30 or 40,000 the first time, and they're talking about sending another 30 or 40,000 again. It's some more soldiers over to Ukraine for Russia to fight with Russia and North Korea. So these are nations that's coming together. Hey, man. So we're in that time. So it says, the kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. And we're about to come into famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, and all these are the beginning of sorrows. It says in the NLT, nation will go to war against nation, right? Race wars, civil wars, those things are about to happen, right? All over the world. Because they were speaking about Europe. Europe is talking about having a civil war because of their migrants, right? So these things are all taking place. And then South Africa is going against them goddamn Edomites, which are their migrants, even though they stay there doing their apartheid, but they realize, no, you guys are migrants and you need to get up out of here. So it's about to be race wars and civil wars and all sorts of type of wars around the world, right? So it says, kingdom against kingdom, right? These wars, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Iran. Oh, America did a strike too against Iran. So that's a nation against a nation. Right? And there will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world, right? And that's definitely happening. And this is the point right here. But all this is only the first of the birth pains. See, with more to come. See, we're just getting to. Hey, we're not even to, right? The tariffs and all these other things that's supposed to be making it hard to eat. Well, what happens when there is no food, right? You're gonna wish you paid the high prices and shut up, because at least you had food, right? But this is what Trump is doing, trying to do us. So then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, right? And that's what they're doing. And it starts with the 2/3, because of course, it's easy to put their hands on the 2/3 because they're putting forth their hand to do iniquity. It's easy to get to the 2/3. But the whole thing about that is they're still Israelites. The Lord said, if you do anything to his little ones, right? The least insignificant, you think you should tie a millstone around your neck and toss them to the sea. And those are the Lord's little ones, bro. They don't know no better. That's why even the Lord said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They don't know no better, but hey, it's okay. Go ahead and judge them. The Lord set you up to be the sword on his left-hand side, to be his whooping stick, right? He set you up as the Assyrian, the rod of his anger, bro. He set you up to be that. So do that. See, to afflict us, shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. So you're killing some of these jakes, right? You're doing all these different things, and ultimately, at some point in time, the men of the Lord, the elect, the hopeful elect, which will be the elect, you're going to kill them too. You're going to behead them, right? For the witness of Yahweh Shai, right? And ye shall be hated of all nations. See, so this is a nationwide. This is why the whole world. This is the world, Craig. The world, right? The whole world is going through this, man. Right? And ye should be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rahadash, man. That's why we hate it, man. That truth, man. It says, then you will be arrested, persecuted, and killed. You will be hated all over the world because you are my followers, right? And then shall many be offended, right? They're offended at the truth, man. That's why there's black Hebrew Indianites, right? You're the one who's dead. You're the one who don't have a nationality. We're the Hebrew Israelites, right? We have a nationality, and we're not dead. We're alive, right? We have the God of the living and not the dead, man. And that's you. You're black. You're dead. You and Esau, man. Right? And that's ultimately what's coming. That's why the Lord's saying, but they shall be saved out of it, right? The elect. It says, then shall many be offended and shall betray one another. See, and they're going to backstab. That's even what Elon and Trump is doing. All this stuff, but then they're betraying each other. And it's all a show. But they're still betraying each other. You're showing it. Betray one another and shall hate one another, right? And that's the time you're about to live in, man. And many will turn away from me and betray and hate each other. See, hey, turn away from the Lord, hey, and the Lord's going to cause your heart to hate more. And they're going to come against us, try to round us up, put us in these cages, doing all these different things. Yeah, get back right here. This is that Exodus chapter 1. I'm down to 17. Chapter 1, verse 17. However, The midwives feared the power of the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh, right? Did not obey the king of Egypt, right? Saying that's the time we're going to come in, because a lot of people ain't going to obey the king of Egypt. Not going to say they're not going to regard their kings nor princes, man. This is the time that they're going to not obey what this so-called establishment have established, right? And we know that's all to bring in the martial law and all these other things, this technocracy, right? But people ain't gonna obey it, right? Starting with the men of the Lord, we're not as long as it's just regular, okay, obeying law, that's cool. But once you come against the Most High, hey, we can't obey that, right? And that's what it was, man. You were coming against the Most High, and a special person was meant to be born, and in this time, which was Moses, right? Which was represented as a savior. Right, he's not Yahweh Shai, but he was a savior, right? And you could sense that I could tell when you look at you pay attention. The Pharaoh knew. It's almost like you could feel the energy, the shift in the world, right? The energy was different. That's why he did that. But even the midwife, they feared Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai, Basham, Rakakadash, and did not obey the king of Egypt orders. They let the boys alive. So the king of Egypt called the midwives and asked them, "Why have you done this? Why have you let the boys alive?" The midwives answered Pharaoh, "Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women," right? And that's true, man. We as a nation in itself are not like the other nations, man. There's a ultimately it's the Most High, but he puts a different tenacity and a will to survive in us that no other nation has, which we would have to have that because there's things been done to us that's never happened to any other nation, right? Because it said that they all had hands in our oppression. That hasn't happened to every other nation. Even though every nation ain't been into every single nation's hands. Slavery. Yeah, there might have been slavery against this person, and you against this, but you haven't went into slavery under every nationality, all other 18 nations, and we went into slavery under all other 17 nations at some point in time. Right? Right? It says the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They are healthy. That they have their babies before the wives arrive. Whoa, there you go. See, and see, we're not waiting on. The king ain't waiting on somebody, bro. The kingdom's coming whether you want it or not. Not waiting on you to show up. We're not waiting on, you know what I mean? We're not waiting for all of Israel to get it. Let's go around and wake up the brother. Let's go into the hood. Let's wake up all the man. We ain't here to wake up all of Israel. This is only for the elect. We're not waiting on anybody. It says the power of the Most High Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah Bahasham Rakakodash was good to the midwives. So the people increased in number and became very strong. And see, that's what we're doing. We're becoming very strong right now in the spirit. We're growing. We're growing in number, and they can't handle it. They can't take it. Can't take it. Which, not to mention that the elect is being sealed, right? Because the midwives feared Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai power, he gave them families of their own. Ooh, nice. Nice, beautiful. Yeah, that's a blessing. See, rest these women. I ain't trying to be a pick-me. I ain't trying to do this and that. I mean, you know, it's a blessing to have a family, have children, have a family of your own. It's a blessing from the power from the Most High. You mean you know more than the Most High? Hey, man, you have really fallen into Satan's trap, bro. Right? Then the Pharaoh commanded all his people to throw into the Nile every Hebrew boy, see? Right into the alligators, right? That was born, but they let every girl alive, see? So this ain't a new thing that they want to throw us into the alligators. I think they got alligators, but they got crocodiles or whatever. Those are crocodiles, right? Yeah. So this is Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha HaKodash, from the west, right? Which they started in Harlem, New York, from the west part of the four corners of the earth, right? And his glory from the rising of the sun. And now other brothers have gotten the breakdowns from Apostle Tahar through the unicorn, the internet, right? Had done the heavy lifting, right? The elect is basically sealed, right? It's about sealed. If it ain't sealed, it's got to be pretty close, because this devil is coming in. So yeah, it's probably close, because we're getting close to the Lord's having the elect sealed, right? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, and so when the elect is sealed, that's when they're going to make it. So right now they're making it into law, the big beautiful bill. They're making it into law. They're getting their Palantir, their Skynet. What's the other one? The gospel, right? Which that's what Israel has, right? The military surveillance, which is called the gospel, right? Right? That's their good news. It's weaponry, right? Gospel meaning good news, and their good news is weaponry, right? So that's just the what it is. But that's what they're forgetting. We have a power. Well, they're gonna soon find out. Just like the ancient Egyptians, they didn't understand the power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? But you're gonna find out, right? Yeah, the glory of his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy, right? And that's what you are. You're our enemy, man. Straight up and down. Shall come in like a flood. The spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rakha Kodash shall lift up a standard, right? And that spirit goes into a spirit to fight, right? Right? Yeah, come here real quick. This is the blue letter, Isaiah 59:19. I'm going to that word to transliterate the word spirit in the Hebrew, right? Spirit, Rakah, right? Because that's what we say. Rakah, Kodash, spirit, holy, right? Kodash meaning holy, right? And this is Rakah. This is a wind, breath, mind, right? Yeah, you got to have the right mind, mentality, spirit, breath. Yeah, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. But it's also, when you go down here, right? Because the Lord is about to lift up a standard, right? It says, imparting war-like energy and executive and administrative power, man, right? You know what I'm saying? And that administrative power comes from where? From Yahweh, right? The Lord's going to give that authority. Yeah, the Lord's going to give that authority when the enemy shall come in like a flood. The spirit, right? That war-like energy, that executive power from on high, from Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, shall lift up a standard against them. See, and the remnant. See, that's what you're forgetting about. You're forgetting about that remnant. Shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgressions in Jacob. And that's what they're missing out. There's plenty of Israelites who have turned from their transgressions, right? So the Lord's going to raise up a war, war-like energy, right?
To an Alligator Alcatraz in Florida, where we can see that this project has completely backfired. Mexicans have completely taken over the swamp.
¡Vamos rápido! No te dejes ganar. ¡Tacos! ¡Tacos de cocodrilo! Botas y carteras de cocodrilo en venta. Llévele todo baratos. Pásele, güero.
Day 2 in Alligator.
Micah chapter 4, verse 8. And thou, O tower of the flock, right? And that tower is Yahweh Shai, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion. Zion means to Zion, which means the remembrance. And the Lord is always going to remember Israel. And this time period is the elect of the nation of Israel, that remnant. Unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion, right? Which the that remnant is going to rule that first dominion, which is that first 1,000 years, right after Esau falls. That 1,000 years, putting everything in subjection, right? Not taking part of the second death, right? That's what that is. That first dominion, not taking part of the second death, but being raised up in the second coming of our Lord, Yahweh Shai. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem, right? Which started with the elect, the men, starting with the elect men, right? Right. Right. I'm going to build back up the kingdom. Now, why doest thou cry aloud? Because we're in hell. We're in Babylon the Great. So we're crying out loud. There is no king in thee, right? Because we don't have there's no king of right now. So we need Yahweh Shai to come back to be our king, right? And then of course the Lord's going to raise up David to be king on earth as he's our king in heaven, right? And it does say Yahweh Shai will come and dwell amongst us here and there, put on the body, right? That he was pierced with, that everyone will see and and cry, But that's the beauty of Yahweh Shai. This is his movie. He's like the dude who used to be in Marvel. He can appear at any time within the movie, or he could just be outside being a narrator or being whatever he want to do. Right? That's the beauty of Yahweh Shai. And you're going to set up King David to be our king. You know what I'm saying? But right now we don't have a king, so we need Yahweh Shai to come back. So that's what we're crying. We don't have a king. We can't truly defend ourselves. We can't truly be safe in this time, right? So we have to cry for Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is thy counselor perish, right? Because there's without Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, without a king, without the priest set up, without all these things, it's hard for what are we gonna do? But the water for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, he set up the teachers, man. He set up some prophets to come out. And it's not completely gone, For a lot of you 2/3, your counsel is not there. You don't have any counsel, right? For pains have taken thee as a woman in travail, right? So then this is the thing that we're about to go through with Esau coming down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time, right? Coming in like that flood, It says, but in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion. So really all this, what Esau's doing is really ultimately going to bring forth the kingdom, man. Right? The pain, be in pain. Right, and that's what the apostles are saying. Hey, we have to love to suffer, right? Right, because that brings in the kingdom. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion. Hey, we're gonna bring forth the king, like a woman in travail. For now shall thou go forth out of the city. And that city, what? Babylon, right? America, Babylon the Great, which is spiritually also known as Egypt, Sodom and Egypt, right? And Assyria, right? Because he's going to come down with that rod, the Assyrian, the rod of my anger, right? And he's gonna unleash. The Lord is allowing him to come through and destroy 2/3 of the Lord's people. But hey, even behead some of the elect for prophecy's sake. So all this is all got to happen, right? And thou shalt dwell in the field, right? Oh yeah, matter of fact, field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon, right? Which this was the time of 70 AD, right? Right, when we had to get out of Jerusalem, and a lot of us went into the interiors of Africa, Europe, some even went eastward, into interiors of Asia. But this is mostly being that we left 70 AD and went into Africa, because that's where they got us from the west coast of Africa to bring us into Babylon, which is America, right? But as of now, right, speaking of it as now it's going to be our time to just become a pilgrim, to go into the field. We're going to have to go into the world and be a pilgrim, right? There shall be deliverance. See, and we got to wait for our deliverance, right? There, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash, shall redeem thee from the hand of thy enemy. We're in Babylon, right? That's where the Lord's going to deliver us at, in Babylon, here, America, right? So it can't be any other place. That's why the focus of the gospel must be here in America, right? It says, now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eyes look upon Zion, right? Going to the time, we came into Babylon under slavery. They traded us as gifts and all these other things, and all these nations were happy at that time when we came into slavery in Babylon, right? Time of was it 1492 and going onward until this very day, because there's still Jakes going on to cargo slave ships to this very day, right? Right. It says, but they know not the thoughts of Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai, Basham, Rakak Wadash, neither understand they his counsel. See? For he shall gather them as the sheaves unto the floor, right? Because that's why they're getting gathered into the valley of Yahweh Shabbat for the Third World's War. They're being gathered right now. Arise and thrush, O daughter of Zion, right? And the Lord said, what? For that to raise up thy sons, O Zion, right? Against thy sons, O Greece, right? Judah shall be a fire, and Ephraim should be a flame, right? Right? And we're going to come against the Greeks, man. Right? And this all out, they got the Lord is going to lift up a standard, right? Even if so it is what it is, man. For I will make thee thy horn iron. See, and the Lord's going to make us a threshing. This is a threshing instrument, right? The Lord said, "You're going to be my weapons and battle axes of war. You shall break in pieces the nations." Right. So the Lord said, "I'll make thy horn iron." Horn meaning what? Power, right? Iron is a very strong way to make a weaponry that it doesn't easily break. Yeah, it's good for killing, right? And I will make thy hooves brass, right? Basically, you're gonna get stomped down, right? And thou shall beat in pieces, right, many people. And I will concentrate their gain. Consecrate their gain, right? Unto Yahweh. Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. It says their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Right? Hey, see, and the Lord's about to take over the whole earth, man. He's about to be the Lord over the whole entire earth, man. So all that, that's just the Lord is bringing the kingdom to the, basically all you're doing is about to bring in you're going to come down with great wrath, and it's going to bring in the kingdom or the world unto Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So with all that, I want to give all praises and honor and glory unto Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Bahasham Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists in the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, shalom. To your sisters, your akhwathiim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and the Bible ball, and Kwam Yasharallah.